Okay, Lafayette Outdoor Education students, if you've done any small game hunting, I'm going to show you how to clean and dress a squirrel the easiest and cleanest way. I haven't done this in like 20 or so years, so cut me some slack if this isn't a very good job. And first thing you're going to want to do to minimize the amount of hair that comes off during the process is to soak the squirrel in a container of water. So I've got one container of water, and here's my friend who was breaking into our bird feeder. I'm just going to drain some of the water off of him. And the first thing you're going to do, if you have some butcher block type scissors, is snip off the legs near the joints. Sorry, my scissors aren't very sharp. This will help when you go to take the full fur off. The bone is obviously the hardest part to get through. That's why you're going to need heavier duty, like butcher block type scissors. Okay, next thing you want to do is kind of comb down the hair like that to minimize what's coming off, and do the same thing with the tail. Okay, now I'm actually gonna, he's dried out a little bit. I've taken the legs off. I'm gonna re-dunk him just to re-wet all the hair. And it's for no other reason other than minimizing the amount of hair that comes off of him. It'll all stick to him when he's wet. The next thing you want to do is flip him on his stomach and bunch up his back like this, and make one small snip in that. Again, I don't have very good sharp scissors, but you're opening up his back like this. Now all you need to do is get your fingers in there, okay, and start working away the just start pulling. And if you need to, if it's not tearing easily enough, you can, don't ever put your thumb on a knife blade like I just did. You can kind of peel at the sinew like this to get it tearing better for you. And it should ideally pull right off. It must be I didn't get far enough into the sinew here to use this example. There we go. Here we go. So I just got through the sinew. Now it's working better. See, it just all kind of peels right off. And the reason it didn't, and you can see the line there where I successfully got through the sinew and where I didn't. That's the difference right there. Okay, so you're going to peel all this back. Oh, there's some of his guts coming out. Now, most of the meat that you're going to want is all going to come out of this midsection. So at this point, you don't really need to finish unless you want to scour the animal for every bit of flesh that you can. I wouldn't bother. I would take a real sharp knife. I'm going to use a fillet knife, and right behind the legs, go right through his backbone and just sever the head right off. Get rid of that piece. Okay, you could probably get a little meat off of that, but it's probably not even worth it. Okay, and then you can split open his chest cavity with the same knife. I turn it sideways so I'm not cutting any of the innards, and I go right up the middle of him and split him open, and that'll open up his rib cage. All right, and once you've opened up his rib cage, that's going to allow you to clean out a lot of his entrails. There's his heart, lungs, liver, intestine, and everything. You want to get all that out. And same thing on the back end. You want to be real careful. This is his bladder right there. You don't want to nick that because then urine's going to get all over everything. So you want to be careful of that. And same thing, once you've gotten all these guts out of your way, you can sever the back end, but you want to be as close and tight to the rear legs as possible, because there's a bunch of meat right in his rump section. If I peel back more, there's a whole bunch of meat in his rump section that you don't want to waste if you can avoid it. Now, if you want to have a meal, you better kill more than one squirrel. I just did this as an example because he was getting into my feeder and I got him. You're going to want to do a hunt that kills probably at least half a dozen if you're going to make a meal out of it. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of meat on a squirrel. That's why it's not near as popular as things like deer hunting. When you're all done, I'll show you just by redunking it, but this is dirty water that I dunked his original carcass in. When you're all done, you're going to want to rinse all the hair off of the meat. I would go to a sink or a spigot and rinse it all off. You're going to want to rinse your hands simultaneously because there's a bunch of hair on you at this point. But that's the easiest way. The key is dunking the animal in water to get yourself easy access to the rest of the animal.